Deep in the heart of a lush green forest lived a huge lion. His name was Leon, and he had a heart as big as his booming roar. Leon loved nothing more than playing with the children who lived on the edge of the forest. He would playfully pounce on them, sending them into fits of giggles, and then they'd all lie down together in the soft grass, sharing stories and jokes until the sun dipped below the trees. But there was a problem. See, every time Leon got close to the children, they would run away as fast as their little legs could carry them. They were scared of his big paws and sharp claws, not to mention his loud, echoing roar. It made them feel like he might just pounce on them and gobble them up in one bite. And honestly, they couldn't be more wrong. Now, Leon wasn't the cuddliest lion, what with his thick, coarse fur and all, but he was as gentle as a summer breeze. He'd never hurt a fly, let alone a child. But how could he make them understand? Each time he tried to get close, they'd scatter like birds taking flight. All he wanted was a friend, someone to share his days with. But it seemed his wish would never come true. So Leon spent his days chasing butterflies and basking in the sun, dreaming of the day when the children would accept him. Then one afternoon, as Leon was napping under his favorite oak tree, he heard some familiar voices. The children had come back to the forest, and this time they weren't alone. With them was an enormous hunter, a man with a cruel face and eyes that glinted with greed. "I hear there's a huge lion in this forest," the hunter said, his voice as rough as gravel, "and I've come to hunt him down and claim his skin as my prize." Leon's ears drooped. Could this be the end for him? Was he finally going to be captured and killed? Just then, one of the children stepped forward. "Wait, Mr. Hunter," he called out, his voice trembling slightly. "I know where the lion is. Why don't we go find him?" Leon's heart skipped a beat. Were these children leading the hunter to him? Had they betrayed him? He watched as they disappeared into the trees, his fate hanging in the balance. He tried to hide, but the hunter soon found him, and when the man raised a spear, Leon knew there was no escape. He closed his eyes tight and braced for the worst, but instead of the expected pain, he felt something wet trickle down his cheek. A sob. He opened his eyes to see the child from before kneeling beside him, tears streaming down his face. "Please don't hurt him," the boy cried. "He's not a monster. He's kind and gentle." Leon felt a surge of warmth spread through him. Maybe these children didn't think he was a monster after all. The hunter snorted. "A lion can't be gentle. And besides, I need his skin for my prize money. So get out of here, boy, before I change my mind about sparing you." The boy shook his head, his eyes flashing with determination. "No, you won't hurt Leon," he said, standing up tall, "and I won't let you take his life." The boy stood his ground, his small frame trembling with courage. Leon stared at the child in amazement. Where did this bravery come from? What made this tiny human stand up to a fierce hunter? And then it hit Leon. These children weren't so different from him after all. They were both wild at heart, unafraid to speak their minds and stand up for what they believed in. A wide grin spread across Leon's face. He nuzzled the boy, nearly knocking him over with his enthusiasm. "Thank you, little one," Leon rumbled, his voice shaking the ground. "You have a kind heart." The boy laughed, throwing his arms around Leon's neck. "You're not a monster, Leon," he said. "You're our friend." And with that, the two became inseparable. The boy told Leon all about the outside world, about bustling cities and towering buildings. And Leon shared stories of the forest, of mischievous fairies, and wise old trees. They played hide and seek among the trees, and raced each other through the meadows. The other children gradually came around, too, realizing that Leon wasn't a monster, just a big softy with a heart of gold. They all gathered around him, giggling and whispering secrets. Even the hunter couldn't help but crack a smile. He had meant to capture a lion, but instead he had found a friend. He, too, joined the children and Leon in their games, roaring with laughter. As the years passed, Leon's forest changed. It became a place where children and animals lived together in harmony. It was a place where laughter echoed through the trees and love filled every corner. One sunny afternoon, as Leon was playing with the children, he looked around at the smiling faces and felt a deep sense of contentment. He remembered a time when the children had been afraid of him, when they had run away at the sight of his big paws and sharp claws. But now they were his best friends, and he wouldn't trade their friendship for all the fish in the river or all the zebras in the savannah. Suddenly, one of the children spoke up, breaking the silence. "Hey, Leon, why don't we have a party tonight? We can roast marshmallows and tell spooky stories around the bonfire." Leon's eyes lit up. He loved parties, especially when there was food involved. "That sounds like fun," he said, his voice booming but friendly. "I'll help you gather wood for the fire." And so they all set off into the forest, gathering branches and leaves for the bonfire. As the sun began to set, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple, the children started building a fire. Leon sat beside them, patiently waiting for it to catch fire. When the flames finally danced merrily, the children cheered and gathered around it, their faces illuminated by its warm glow. They roasted marshmallows and sang songs, their voices echoing through the trees. Leon joined in, his deep voice adding a rich harmony to their chorus. As the night wore on, the children started telling spooky stories. Each tale was more terrifying than the last, filled with witches and ghosts and things that go bump in the night. Leon listened intently, his eyes wide with wonder. He may be a big, strong lion, but he had to admit that these stories gave him goosebumps. One particularly scary story had them all in stitches. They were laughing and making jokes, poking each other and pretending to be the monsters from the tale. Leon joined in on the fun, roaring like a werewolf and chasing the children around the fire in a playful mock attack. As the party drew to a close, the children started heading home, their laughter echoing through the forest. Leon watched them go, a big smile on his face. He was glad that they had become his friends. He had once been lonely, spending his days dreaming of a companion, but now his life was filled with joy and laughter thanks to the children. From that day on, Leon's forest became known as the happiest place in the land. Children from all around came to visit him, eager to spend a day filled with laughter and adventure. Leon welcomed them all, happy to share his life with those who had accepted him for who he was, a big, friendly lion with a heart full of love.